Hello, everyone, and welcome to chapter 11 of season 2 or chapter 26. We are nearing the end, and the whole debate will be over soon. Well, this one honestly started as something very different at the start of the week, in the middle of the week, and up until yesterday. It was supposed to be about sexuality because everyone likes to hear me talk about that subject. But today I'm actually recording this a little bit later. It's 1 p.m. So yeah, and in the morning when I was lying down watching YouTube, I saw a video by Real Train Hobbies. Neil from Real Train Hobbies, and I thought, well, why not talk about hobbies, and in particular, well, my own hobbies. Hobbies in general are interesting. A lot of people have painting, music. Um, I I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Oh, my drink, by the way, it's a half-drunk bottle of Coke Zero, 1.5 liters. I mean, that's that's really good. And what I was trying to say with hobbies is that my particular hobby, as of recently being 2 years, year ago, is dioramas. Now the story is, uh, as of anything in my life, a very stupid one. I was watching YouTube and then I got recommended this channel called Look Toran, and I watched the video. The combination of his very sort of soothing voice, the way he explains stuff, and the magnitude of the project itself, it actually it actually sparked a little something in me. Now, I even remember which episode it was. Do have to look it up for the exact one, but it's a 45-minute video, I think. And I will try to look it up as I'm speaking, even though we all know that is not the best thing because I can't really walk and chew gum at the same time. I actually can, but I can do that. I can talk well and look for stuff at the same time. So this was a 45-minute video. I am in his channel right now. Look Toran. He recently hit 1 million, which was amazing. He really deserved it. It's a great channel, and I really recommend you do check it out. And it was called Build and Animate an Ultra Realistic Diorama Realistic Scenery Volume 16. It's 46 minutes, and it really blew my mind. First of all, at the beginning of each of his videos, he shows the scenery done. And this was so good. For a moment, I thought he filmed like his inspiration, like he went outside and said, well, this building is what I used as inspiration, but no, it was actually the fucking diorama. It's so good. Definitely check it out. Check his channel out. And from that, it was sort of a slippery slope. The reason for Look to Hand is actually kind of weird itself. It's because I used to, I still do, but not as religiously. But I used to watch Channel Awesome a lot, and a while ago they did this series called Awesome Build, which Jim Jaras, the guy who created all of the props for the videos, explained how he had made them, and one of them was a Freddy Krueger glove. He repainted it. He took it from a Halloween store and repainted it so it looks better. And I think that must have tweaked the YouTube algorithm into thinking I like to see stuff about Freddy Krueger's glove. So it showed me Odin Makes, which is one of my favorite channels as of now. And he also made a Freddy Krueger glove, but from scratch, from styrene and plastic. And it was an amazing video. Again, the mixture of a good voice and great explaining. It was really good. And I watched all of his videos. Back then, he wasn't uploading regularly. Nowadays, he is, and it's again very fun. Um, he uploads every Wednesday, I think, and it's actually what I wanted to say is what he did this week was the acts from the Kong versus Godzilla trailer, and it's fun. It was very fun. I watched all of that, and through that YouTube algorithm, realized I might like watching people make stuff, and so they introduced me to Punished Prop Academy, which is right now not in the best possible way, in my opinion. Back then, when I was watching it, it was like every week a new project, and they were big, like the Fallout rocket launcher. That was an amazing build. The mask from the Far Cry game. That was an amazing build. But nowadays it's like once a month, and it's a crapshoot of if it's going to be something interesting or just a show and tell. And it feels bad because, you got 7 minutes watching Bill Duran talk about other stuff he made, and after that you that's it for another month. But then I got recommended Luke Tuan, and that started a whole slippery slope. From Luke Tuan's channel, I got introduced to Black Magic Craft. This Black Magic Craft is different than Luke Tuan. Luke Tuan is all about realism and making this detailed dioramas and modeling stuff, and Black Magic Craft makes terrain for D&D games. But that was also very interesting, and it became sort of an obsession. It still is. I need to sneeze. I'm sorry. The seasonal allergies. And but it's something almost as interesting as dioramas itself. Even if it is a little bit more, how do I say it? A little bit more stylized. And then it was Cathy Mulat, which is another great modeling and diorama maker, and Real Train Hobbies. And from that, a bunch of other people that I love: Miscast, DM Scotty, Vilox Armory, DMG Info, and from them it was Jazza and Ace of Clay, and before you know it, I'm watching people make stuff all the time. And that's just diorama and art. I'm not talking about cabinet makers, Michael Alm, or Michael Alm is. I remember Michael Alm because he's literally. I watched a video of his today, and it was actually very good. Frank Howarth, which is amazing, industrial maker. Johnny Builds, Crafted Workshop. It's everything. It makes me kind of jealous because I like to do that stuff, but I can't. Anyways, in the quarantine, one of the things I did was I bought 2 sheets of foam. And not a very good foam. I actually realized it was the wrong kind of foam, but I made a little house. And then my uncle was coming from Canada, and I said, well, while you're coming, can you buy these 2 ready board foam board sheets? Because this is literally the stuff that Black Magic Craft was using. And he brought 2 sheets, and I mean, the quality is literally there. It's a much softer foam. It takes a lot of details very well. I made another house, a bigger house with that, which was actually kind of fun. And I'm actually hoping that one day, after all of this movie stuff is done, I might go and make a little diorama piece. I watched a video from Real Train Hobbies about making tents, and I have a base, and I want to make a small scene, kind of reminiscent or kind of alluding to Skyrim, because if you remember doing the Civil War quests, you can go around and you can see these like tents that have a couple of officers in them. I will make one without officers. I'm not there yet to buy minis and paint them. I have painted minis, but the result was not good. I need to take a drink. I'm so sorry. And for that satisfying noise, yes. Now, why talk about them? First of all, in order to introduce a lot of good channels so that people can watch. The other one is the therapeutic kind of hobbies and what it can do. I am I do consider myself a creative person. I mean I work in arts. I make movies. My husband makes movies. That song from Nine. And building dioramas, little model houses, train pieces for a game that I don't even know how to play. I don't know how to play Dungeons and Dragons. It's kind of therapeutic for me because it makes me sort of like a god of a little universe, and I can create all of these details. And I love creating details and trying new stuff. And even though the results are not as good as I see them on people who have done this for years, I even saw an improvement from my first a little house to my second one, because the first one was warped because I used a lot of PVA glue, and PVA glue shrinks a lot. But for the second one, in order to give a cardboard backing to the foam pieces so they don't wobble, I used hot glue, and it was much, much, much better. And what I was talking about, I sort of. I'm sorry if I seem out of focus. It's because I am in a little bit of bodily harm um, because of my poor eating habits. I'm having a hell of a stomach ache. So, and I even saw an improvement from that house to the next one. So it's something that I am very interested in working towards. I even have plans on making a EVA helmet because I mean it's something that is quite forgiving and you can do a lot more with it. And EVA, from what I saw, I only saw tutorials, and I know it's not the same, but there's form I want to make a Don Quixote hat, with the shaving basin that he wears over his head, because first of all I actually looked up on buying one of those, and they are massively expensive for something that honestly it's not worth it. So I thought it would be a good idea to make one out of foam. First of all, it will be safer to wear. I can customize it, give it that dent, that famous dent on the side, and it's much easier to work with. And at the same time, I then have a bit of experience in working with EVA foam. And the good thing is, even in a very recent video, Odin Abbott of the Odin Makes channel really made an helmet, the helmet of the Black Knight from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, using only super glue. So I know it can be done without contact cement, which was one of my biggest problem because it looked messy. So, if I can get EVA foam, which I can because a lot of things are made out of EVA foam, And I'm pretty sure we can buy sheets of it too. I can make like a form factor for my head using the aluminum foil and duct tape method, which, I mean, I don't have a head cast, so I need to ask someone to make it over my head and then make a rounded bowl shape, maybe a little bit bigger so I can gouge some out using. I don't have a rotary tool, so I need to do it with a knife and a sandpaper, and then make the rim for the outside, and then I can even use some aluminum rod in order to shape it. It's interesting, and I have a plan, but I just need to find the courage to spend a lot of money, not a lot, quite a lot of money on something that might fail miserably. So yeah, that's why I wanted to talk about hobbies, because even talking about it like this and laying out my plans, it makes me feel back in control. You like I have control over my life and I can create stuff. When usually when my movie stretches out so long in order to be made and everything seems out of control, I don't have that feeling very much. But now I have, because I am talking about making little houses out of foam and cardboard. And actually, I want to buy some chipboard and try to do some um, more stuff with that. I have a lot of ideas for sci-fi scene, but you know, maybe later. I do have a very small Mr. Spock bust that my friends bought me for my birthday, and it sits on a stand that is fairly bland. So I think it would be a good idea to like make a customized stand for it. I would love to make it out of wood, but maybe later. Wood is something I want to get into like when I'm 50, like Frank Howarth. I want to do all of the other stuff and then build a small wood shop in my garage or somewhere and just make little projects, little boxes and all of that stuff. And then my family will get boxes for gifts until I die, because there is always more value into a handmade object. Actually, this year, 2020 and 2019 was the year that I thought for some of my friends it's good to do some handmade gifts, and I did it for four of them, and I really hope they liked it because they are polite and they say they do, but I mean it's politeness. So yeah, the subject matter changed in like an hour, and so this feels a little bit sloppier. But this is something that I know I won't give as much thought if it wasn't in the zone. I'm not in the zone, and it's sad because I want to be in that zone more often. That's why I love channels like Real Train Hobbies, Black Magic Craft, Odin Makes, Punished Props, Look to One, and I just watch their videos like a little bit religiously when they come up. I say, "Oh, Odin uploaded a new video. Let's go watch it." And yeah, that's it. I'm actually hoping that you do check them out if you are into diorama or making stuff. There are a lot of good makers, like Nerdforge, for example. They are very good. And I mean, Jimmy DeVesta is the greatest of all time, the GOAT. And I have 30 seconds, so I can name a lot more, but I will probably do a follow up on this at some point and I just talk about the woodworking channels and all of that. So yeah, if you want, you can send me a message on Anchor and I will play it at the beginning of the next episode. And I don't like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next week.